Now, if you've recently gone through a divorce or you're still feeling the weight of its impact, first, take a deep breath. I know that this can feel like one of the most overwhelming, heavy, and even isolating experiences of your life. You might be wondering, why do I feel so disconnected from myself, from Allah, and even from the world around me? Why do I feel like something is holding me back? Let's take a moment to acknowledge that feeling. Assalamu alaikum, my beautiful sisters. Bismillah, alhamdulillah. Welcome to the HCM podcast. I'm your host, Hannah Khan, a divorce recovery coach guiding sisters like you through their healing process. I am so grateful that you're here with me today. Whether you're tuning in for the first time or you've been on this journey with me for a while, I want you to know that this space is for you. A place where you are seen, understood, and guided toward healing, clarity, and peace, inshallah. Today, we're going to address this very struggle as we step into the first pillar of healing, removing spiritual blockages with self-ruqya. This is a simple yet deeply powerful faith-based practice to help you release some of that spiritual heaviness and reconnect with Allah's mercy and light. By the end of this episode, inshallah, you'll understand what spiritual blockages are and how they're affecting your journey. You'll also walk away with a practice you will want to start implementing today to begin shifting that spiritual weight and inviting peace into your heart. So grab a warm cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's start this journey together, understanding the problem. Here's the thing, divorce is not just about the emotional pain or legal battles. There's a deeper, often unspoken impact that many sisters face. Spiritual blockages. What do I mean by that? Spiritual blockages are like invisible barriers that stop you from fully connecting with Allah and experiencing the peace and clarity that come from a strong spiritual connection and protection. What happens is the pain, the hurt, and sometimes the confusion can create certain spiritual blockages. It can also feel like something is holding you back, weighing down your heart or dimming your faith no matter how much you try. These blockages can show up in different ways, and if you're experiencing them, you'll probably recognize these signs: heaviness in the heart or chest, a weight you can't seem to lift even when you try to find comfort in worship, difficulty in praying. You stand for salah, but it feels empty, disconnected. The words are there, but the connection to Allah feels distant. Struggling with dua. You want to turn to Allah, but something holds you back. Maybe it's confusion, guilt, or just an inexplicable hesitation. Constant fatigue and low energy. Even in doing small tasks and even rest doesn't seem to help, as if something is draining you. And here's something we must talk about because it affects so many sisters and often goes unaddressed. Spiritual afflictions, things like the evil eye nizar, envy, hasad, or other negative energies that can surround a marriage, its breakdown, or even its aftermath. You see, our Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, taught us that the evil eye is real. And unfortunately, it's something that can affect marriages, whether it's through envy from others, your ex-husband, in-laws, unintentional jealousy, or even our own unguarded blessings. In many cases, these afflictions can play a role in the breakdown of relationships or leave lingering effects afterwards. What does that look like? You might feel a sense of heaviness, sudden misfortunes, or persistent obstacles in your healing process. It's like something unseen is holding you back from moving forward and fully reconnecting with Allah's mercy. Unfortunately, relationships, especially when they break down, can attract different types of negativity. In fact, in many cases, the effects of evil eye play a role in the marriage breaking down to begin with. It's something many sisters don't realize or feel worried to talk about openly, but it happens and must be addressed if you truly want to heal yourself. This is why it's crucial to dispel those negative energies and seek protection. And where do we find that protection? In the words of Allah, in the blessed Quran. And let me pause here to say this. If this resonates with you, if you're feeling like something deeper might be affecting your life right now, please know that you are not alone. And don't worry, because there are solutions to this. Allah doesn't give an affliction without its cure. As our Prophet, may peace and blessings be upon him, said, Allah, may he be glorified and exalted, has not sent down any disease, but he has sent down a remedy for it. Those who know it, and those who do not know it, do not know it. And lucky for you, Allah has literally guided you to this audio to find out, and now be among those who know. Now, these struggles, this heaviness, this disconnection, are not a reflection of weakness in your faith or a failure on your part. They are challenges, yes, but they're challenges that can be overcome and ultimately bring you closer to Allah and elevate you into becoming a high-caliber Muslimah. And honestly, many women experience this after divorce. I have sought knowledge from 4 different qualified Rakis to study this healing deeply, firstly for myself and now to bring you guys all the knowledge. And each one of them have confirmed that having a spiritual affliction doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It simply means that your heart, body and soul are calling for deep healing. Healing that only comes through the mercy and protection of Allah, to turn to Him and only Him. And the beautiful thing is that Allah has given us all the tools to protect and heal ourselves. Self-ruqya, which comes directly from the Quran and authentic du'as, is one of the most powerful ways to lift these spiritual blockages, dispel the effects of evil eye and negativity, and reconnect you with Allah's light. For example, one of my clients, Aisha, names are made up for privacy reasons, found herself feeling constantly drained and disconnected after her divorce. By incorporating self-ruqya into her daily routine, she began to feel a renewed sense of peace and connection with Allah within just a couple weeks. So now, let's talk about what self-ruqya is, why it works, and how you can use this beautiful faith-based practice to lift those spiritual blockages and invite peace and protection into your heart and home, inshallah. So, what exactly is self-ruqya? You may have heard of self-ruqya or ruqya before. You may have even come across some YouTube or TikTok videos on it. However, true ruqya is a deeply powerful, beautiful, faith-based healing practice where we recite specific healing verses from the Quran and authentic prophetic du'as to protect ourselves and remove harmful spiritual afflictions, things like envy, evil eye, and even sihr, black magic. I don't recommend just listening to random things on YouTube or TikTok. Make sure to first verify them with a sheikh you trust so they can tell you, if it really is Arabic, the correct verses of the Quran and du'as. As unfortunately, there are so many ones on there that are incorrect parts of verses and can potentially cause more harm. So that's why I say always do it yourself, because you know the Quran you hold in your hand, and get a translation copy too. An app will also do, so that you know exactly what you're reciting. You see, spiritual harms are very real, and unfortunately, many sisters don't realize that they might be lingering after a divorce. The heaviness, the sudden obstacles, the unexplained struggles, all of this can be tied to spiritual afflictions that need to be addressed. And here's the key. Self-ruqya is not just about reciting verses mechanically. It's about connecting deeply with Allah's words, understanding that the Quran is shifa, a complete and perfect cure for everything we face. Allah tells us in Surah Al-Isra, and we send down from the Quran that which is a healing and a mercy for the believers. So this isn't just about removing the harm and attaining healing, it's about realigning your heart, reconnecting with Allah's mercy, and filling the spiritual emptiness that blockages can leave behind. Self-ruqya is an act of faith, hope, and beautiful trust that Allah alone is the one who heals us, who protects us, and who provides us with peace. And my sisters, there really is so much peace in that process. I myself vouch for how much self-ruqya has completely transformed my life. It actually saved me, got me out of the darkness I was feeling, and into a renewed sense of peace and lightness in me. It got me closer to Allah and my deen and elevated me in the most beautiful ways. And it not only works for me, but for all my clients, as well as many sisters in my Instagram community, which has organically grown to 10,000 sisters, alhamdulillah. Now, what I love about self-ruqya and why I believe it's such an incredible tool for post-divorce healing is that it's not just another method or strategy. This approach is unique because it combines spiritual healing with our faith. It's truly holistic. It's not just about saying do this or that and you'll feel better. It's about recognizing that healing comes from Allah alone through the power of His words. So many divorce healing resources out there miss out this key part of healing when in fact it is this that actually unlocks all the other healing. That's why it's important to address all pillars. It's also deeply empowering because it reminds us that we can take action for our own healing. Sometimes after divorce, we feel powerless. We feel like life is just happening to us, like we're being tossed in the wind. But self-ruqya is one of the pillars that gives you a way to stand back up and say, Ya Allah, I trust in you, I turn to you, and I know you will remove this harm and replace it with peace. It's healing from the inside out, not just on the surface. Some of you may already have my basic self-ruqya quick starter guide. If you came onto my email list through that, or I've shared it with you before, you'll know it includes the beautiful practice of reciting Ayat al-Kursi, the 3 quls, Surah Al-Ikhlas, Surah Al-Falaq, and Surah An-Nas, and blowing over yourself water and oil to anoint yourself. And there is so much more to it. There are various types of spiritual blockages and negative energies that can affect your state after divorce. Different Quranic verses and du'as address different issues. You tailor your self-ruqya practice to include the additional du'as to target each unique and specific problem that you are facing. In fact, I actually have a collection of over 70 du'as straight from the Quran and prophetic supplications that my clients use to target and remove these different struggles. For now, let's start with the basic self-ruqya guide, as this practice will give you an immediate sense of peace, relief and connection, inshallah. In fact, this very guide helped Sister Y in just 2 nights. She stopped getting her heavy head feeling with pulsating tinnitus at night, giving her restful sleep after a long time. It truly works. Why? This is the power of the Quran. So if you haven't had a chance to try it out yet, let this be your reminder from your sister to start. These verses are so powerful because they are Allah's words, a shield of light and protection that no negative force can break through. So perform wudu, find a quiet space, choose a peaceful spot where you can focus without interruptions. Get your Quran, and possibly a translation version would be great too. Set your intentions and go through the guide. As you recite, reflect on Allah's complete power, mercy and protection. Let these words resonate in your heart and mind. This practice really is the basics, and I want you to make it an intention to implement into your daily lives, inshallah. Oh, and if you haven't got your hands on the guide yet, just head over to my Instagram bio, type in your email and it will be in your inbox. My gift to you. And I know you may be thinking, I don't have enough time for this, Hannah. But remember, by reciting Quran, Allah actually puts barakah into your time and divinely increases it. Even dedicating just 5-10 minutes each day to self-ruqya can make a significant difference in your healing journey. Notice how you feel afterward, perhaps a sense of peace, lightness or renewed connection. And honestly, don't worry about time, for that is in the hands of Allah, and any time we use to connect with Him and His words, He will divinely increase the overall time you have in your day. It's honestly such a beautiful miracle, alhamdulillah. Another common concern I get sisters asking me is, do I need to be an expert at Quran reciting? The answer is no. Although as Muslims, of course we should all strive to improve our recitation of Allah's blessed words over time. A reminder to myself first and foremost. But don't let a lack of expertise stop you from seeking the protection and power of Allah's words. It's all about intention and your sincerity. And if you really struggle with the Arabic, don't worry, it's completely fine to read from the transliterations if need be. In fact, my document of 70+ du'as include easy transliterations and translations of all these ayats, making it easy to engage in self-ruqya regardless of anyone's recitation level. Now, while self-ruqya is a powerful start, there's so much more depth to explore. In our next episode, we'll dive deeper into your heart state and emotional healing through processing the 5 stages of grief, because unprocessed grief is another big reason that's keeping you stuck from truly healing. But for now, focus on this first step, starting to remove the spiritual blockages and see how it feels. And trust me, that beautiful feeling you will feel after doing this is just the start, my sis, because you really can remove all the blockages that are keeping you stuck, inshallah. And to continue your healing journey, I invite you to join my free live webinar. In this webinar, we'll integrate these practices and explore how to create a cohesive, faith-aligned healing plan. Spots are limited to ensure an intimate, supportive environment. And if you have any questions you want to ask me, just sign up to the VIP ticket for only £37. You get to have an additional Q&A session with me and get a taster of my coaching and see if you find it beneficial. You also get to learn from the insights of other sisters' questions. As a bonus, I also throw in my personal 2025 success planner for free, which is worth £47, as my New Year gift to you so you can start your New Year right. Plus, every VIP ticket holder gets automatically entered into our prize draw to win a free deep dive coaching call with me worth £97. I made it an absolute steal for you ladies, so no excuses if you're really ready to step into the best versions of yourself and get unstuck from your divorce. Reserve your spot now by clicking the link on this page or sending me a DM on Instagram. I can't wait to see you there and show you how to take the next steps in your healing journey, inshallah. It's free and jam-packed with value. I'll see you there. So, to recap, today you learned about the hidden spiritual blockages that may be holding you back and how self-ruqya can help you begin to remove them. Take action today by trying out the self-ruqya practice and signing up for our free webinar to go deeper into this, and consider upgrading to the VIP experience if you want to get coached on any questions you may have. Remember, you're not alone, my dear sister. I know how it feels, and together we can achieve true transformation. I really hope you benefited from this episode and it gave you a lot of clarity. Thank you for listening. May Allah bless your journey towards healing and peace. Until next time, stay hopeful, stay connected, and remember Allah never tires of protecting us. Insha'Allah, we'll thrive together.